Hello everyone and welcome to Submachine 7, The Core. We are, as always, playing the HD re-release of this game, and again, I don't know when this came out, because it doesn't say on the menu, which, you know, that's a pity. If you remember, at the end of the last game we were, I suppose we were betrayed by Murtaugh, and then basically left to die in the edge of the submachine, but we managed to escape and activate one of these teleporters here, and I guess this is where that left us. This is where we ended up. So let's take a look around. On the left here we have this strange barrier which we can't seem to pass, and I suppose this light which might be powering that, and a lever which doesn't work. Okay. Let's look over here. There's a very inconspicuous looking stick which we can pick up. A steel tube. Okay. I guess stick was too boring of a name for that. And a keystone behind these two boards here. And on the floor here we find a code card which we will use momentarily. But there's also two notes here. So there's a picture which is very pixely. That's the problem I have with the HD re-release of this game, is that there's, for some reason, a lot of pixely images, but you know, I guess it's fine. Use the pixely image for that. And a document. Note to myself, 12/12/06. Possible entry points failed. Check on 291. Good feeling about this one. Well, I wish we could check on that, but we don't have a teleporter around here. Which, well, not one which we could input numbers in anyway, so I guess we can't do that. Over here on the right we have another picture. Winter Palace South Garden entry. Okay, that looks somewhat useful, I suppose. There's a weird portal thing down here. Maybe that's going to be important later. Of course it will be. We can use the keycard on this thing here to deactivate that barrier. And we can pick up this light bulb right here. This is... You don't actually have to do this, but you'll see anyway, I suppose. We can do this, which has no point whatsoever. And there doesn't really seem to be a reason to get there doesn't really seem to be a way to get through this barrier, because that plaque we used before, this one, is on the other side this time, so we can't actually reach that. But what we can do is use the steel tube to deactivate that, and I suppose the only hint you get is that this wire is actually still running through that barrier, and I guess this thing. So maybe it's just people who can't pass through that or something. I'm not entirely sure. And here are some really pretty pixely pillars. I don't know. Why didn't he just use this pillar, put it right here, and you know, it would have been fine. I don't understand why this game has pixely screens. Even the HD release has pixely screens everywhere. That's fine, it's fine. Gong stick. Is that actually what that's called? I really doubt it. The mind is everything. What you think, you become. Yes. Okay. Key right here. Which, actually, let's go use that right now. We have to go back all the way over here to this locked box right here. And from that we get a wisdom gem, except they're not called that, they're called energy gems in this game. So there you go. Oh, that was the key I just used, I'm an idiot. Okay, so let's head back here to these beautiful flower pots and guns. And let's get this, which is in the rightmost flower pot, a keystone. So now we have two of those, that's great. And there's, well, just two broken things here. Nothing suspicious about that. And a gong. We can't put the gong tube in its spot where it belongs, but we can ring the gong. Which actually repairs this portal thingy here. I mean, gateway, it's not a portal at all. It's just an archway, I swear. We can ring this gong again. It doesn't do anything, but you know, it's great. Heading over here, we can actually click to the left of the rightmost flower pot to get our first token. Tokens are the secrets in this game. And this statue, be the witness of your thoughts. Alright. It's obviously not the same two symbols on these sides, but it still says the same thing apparently. Maybe they just have different symbols for the same thing. People are pretty stupid, so that's what happens a lot in language for some reason. So I guess it's fair. Okay, maybe I should have looked at this pedestal right here is what you need this clue for. So at the top there's a swirly thing. Right here there's a circle with a square in it, I suppose. And right here there's a diamond shape. And this corresponds to the 3 keystones we have found. So let's put the swirly one on the top. And the circly one with, well, I guess that's a rectangle, but you know, it's fine. And the diamond we put right here. And then, as a final step, let's put the valve right here. Because, you know, I guess you get these 2 arrows for hints for that. Okay. When we turn that, nothing really seems to happen. And the reason for that is this this thing right here, because this archway actually needs to be powered. So let's put our wisdom gem right there, or I guess energy gem in this game. And look at those small things there. I don't know, I find them amusing for some reason. And when we turn that, we activate the archway and we see that it is actually a portal. What a surprise, right? Let's walk right through that. I love this effect. This is just the prettiest. We could do this all day. Okay, so we found another note. Hello, my name is Elizabeth. Welcome to my Temple of Solitude. There is a great chance that you wandered here after being tested by Murtaugh. If that is the case, I'm very sorry that I couldn't get to you before him. It must have been tough on you to get through all his traps, tests and tasks to fulfill. However, worry no more. If you can't find me in the garden, then I am at my laboratory and will be joining you shortly. Please wait patiently here and try not to touch anything. Thank you. L. Alright, so I suppose we just wait for Elle right now. In her Temple of Solitude, or whatever. Doop-de-doo. Let's look at our pictures again, I suppose. Maybe she's not coming. We the King welcome you in our South Garden. Anyone who seeks peace and calmness will find it under the leaves of our blessed flora. Alright, King. Thank you. What's this? A note? How could they have possibly known? How could they mimic the substructure of the subnet so accurately within simple garden plants? This is completely baffling. And I guess she's referring to this thing here. These maps are scattered all over this game, and the blue dot just tells us where we are. So we are right here. And I suppose this place was once a little more coherent? Not entirely sure because there's nothing left of it. We have 4 archways right here, but only one of them is actually activated. And it appears we are now at this spot right here. This is actually something to remember because it's important. We find a key on the floor here, and there is a weird structure thingy which reminds me of a certain movie, and it has a hole in it, so that's exciting. Let's head back all the way. I don't know why I'm looking at that map. Okay, back at the archway, let's head right this time. We the King welcome you in our winter palace. May it be home for those who seek knowledge and repel solitude. Alright then, I suppose it will. Except it won't, because everything is kind of lonely in this game. I know it is kind of ironic to dock my laboratory out here in the ruins of the Winter Palace, but the King always wanted this palace to become safe haven for people of science. Here I am, my King. L. So we don't really know that much about L as of now, except that she's a person of science apparently, and that she has her laboratory docked here. And there's some weird wires going out here, so maybe that's gonna be interesting at some point. Of course it will be, because I don't know why I would mention that if it wouldn't be. So yes, let's head into the fucking temple already. Get a pamphlet, which this looks very similar to the one we found in Submachine 2. Welcome to the world's famous winter palace of the 4th Dynasty. Built in 1832 by Sir Henry O'Toole, a young architect barely known at the time, merely the servant of King's master urbanist. After finishing this palace, O'Toole gained respect in modern art circles of the Western Kingdom. This winter palace and surrounding gardens are prime examples of anti-structural architecture freed from boundaries of material durability. Make sure you also visit the famous Kent Lighthouse built by the same architect. Thank you for coming, and we hope to see you again. Someone. The famous Kent Lighthouse was actually the lighthouse that we were in the second game, Submachine 2, aptly titled The Lighthouse. And we can't go through that door, but there is something up on the right here which looks kind of weird. And if we click on that, we just zip through time and space, I suppose, and find ourselves here. Now you know how Murtaugh's karma portals work. You just used one. They can in fact transport you through different dimensions. However, the ones drawn within the core are short range. Those were the first ones he has ever drawn. A test, baby steps if you will. Now that you used one, please do not use them anymore. They shatter the fabric of this dimension. Murtaugh neglected that fact, and just look around where we ended. So maybe Murtaugh was the reason for this place being so broken, I suppose. We can enter that door we just couldn't pass through, so that's great. Set up these really long stairs. In the distance, if we look out through this window, we can see a little island. And if we head over here to the left, then we actually have a second one of these portals, and of course we're going to step through that because we're just gonna disregard any warnings that we got from this, and we find ourselves right on that thing we saw through the window. So there that was, and we found a stone key. We've actually found 2 of those. I think I didn't even mention the last time we found one. We also have this key still, which we will soon use on this door. It's going to be very exciting. Once there was a man who said he knew what was happening after Murtaugh left. Since then that man has left us as well. Okay then, let's open the door. But before we actually go in there, we're going to click right on this spot, which is very obvious, and get our second secret. Why does this sociopath only talk to Elizabeth? I don't know. It's very unfortunate. Here's that map again, without any markings this time. And here's a somewhat important console. It's actually very important. If we pull this up, then all of them are turned down. And if we push all of them down, then what this actually controls is... Let's go back all the way. All the way. It actually activates all these portals right here. But before we actually enter those, I want to see what's this way. Okay, so we have a 3x9 grid of holes in the wall, I suppose. And actually, if we try this out, then we can put the stone keys right in here and take them back out again, because that's obviously not the solution for that. And we'll need to find some more hints. Oh, this is just that portal that takes us back to that. Sorry, Liz, we're just breaking the wall a little more by using that, but you know, it's fine. Okay, so now we have lots more places to explore. For example, all the way to the left here, this. But there's really nothing all that interesting about that. There was a map, there used to be a map on this thing, but it broke, I suppose. So that's unfortunate. Actually, that's not... let's head through here, it's fine. We are now at the very top of these gardens, I suppose, and find another note. So when things started to collapse, why certain bits and pieces got left behind? Question mark. Grammar. They just stayed in place, and why those in particular? L. Yeah, L can't really speak English all that well, but it's fine. I like her anyway. We can play with these floating platforms in the air, which, you know, that's great. We find another note, and these 3 notes are actually hints for those keystones we found. So there's a triangle one, a circle one, and a square one. So I guess that's just a little teaser for what's to come. By rotating this thing, pushing this thing in there, we are actually raising these stairs right here. So that's great, because now we can head up here and pull this thing down, which in turn activates a letter right here. Isn't that beautiful? And if we look at this plaque right here, we can see a symbol, and this is actually very important, because if we head back over here and look at our map, then we can see where we are, and what we have to do is we have to associate these symbols with the places on the map. So for the uppermost point in the gardens, come on, thank you, we have this symbol. I have already noted this down, so that's fine, but you should note it down if you're playing it on your own, which will make no sense because you're watching a video of it, but you know. Okay, so now we are on the bottom left part. I think the points you can actually beat are those somewhat obvious white spots on the map here. So here is the center, here's the place where you start. This is where we are right now. There's a point, there's a point, there's a point, and there's a point. And for each of those points you need to associate a symbol with it. So let's head over to the left here, and if you look at this pillar right here, you can actually see another symbol, so that's great. Now we have a second symbol associated to this point. Over to the right here we have a note on the floor, which is very easy to miss. And it's another hint for the stone key puzzle, which we now actually can solve. But before we do that, let's finish up here. There's a very pretty tree here, which is a reminder for me that if we click... this is so dumb. If we click to the left of this portal, we find the 3rd token. Which, you know, the secrets have never been hidden very well in this game. I mean, they have been well hidden, but they haven't been hidden very fairly. And if we look over here, this ladder we just dropped, we can find another symbol. But this symbol actually does not have a location associated with it, because this map broke and our player for some reason is too stupid to pick it back up, I suppose. So yeah, this one is just not associated with a place, but we still can note this down, and whenever we have all the other locations down, then we will know where this goes. So that's going to be very exciting. I think we haven't been through this one yet. Okay, so that's where we are. And there's a tree here, and this is actually important to remember. On this spot in the map, there is a tree right there. And that's really all we need to know for that. Okay, so now we have 3 keystones. Stone keys, I suppose. I'm sorry. Sorry, game. And 4 hints for that puzzle, which is all we need to solve it. So let's go back all the way to... I hope I can find where there was again. Yeah, it was right here. Good. Okay, so I'm going to explain this now. If you divide this this 9x3 grid into 3 spaces, then we have 3 3x3 grids. And as you can see on these maps here, we have 3 3x3 grids as well, which is very exciting. And right here we have numbers associated with each of these thingies, because I'm good at describing stuff. And the first one is the triangle, the second one is the square, and the third one is the circle. So the first one is the triangle, and if we separate this into 3 3x3 diagrams, then on this first one the triangle goes in the uppermost one. So let's just put that right in there. Now the second set of 3, the second 3x3 grid here is going to be the square, on which it goes in the bottom left. So that's very nice. And on the third one, it goes on the far right. And there we go.